Yo, what's up Hemifam family? In today's video, I'm going to be showing y'all how to wrap your 2011 Plus Dodge Charger door handles. So if you are new to this channel, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, that way you do not miss all the awesome videos and content we have for you. So let's go ahead and get off into today's video. So when you are going to begin wrapping your 2011 Plus Dodge Charger door handles, you are going to want some rubbing alcohol, a microfiber towel, a nice squeegee, and a good sharp wrap knife. So one of the very first steps to do is take the alcohol on your microfiber towel, get it a few good sprays, nice and wet, and take your towel and clean the entire pillar section, guys. I mean the entire pillar, all the cracks, all the crevices, 360 degrees, all four corners and sides. That way everything is clean, there's no dirt or grime in there, and you can get the vinyl laid nice and flat, and that way it is going to stick for the long haul of the you're owning your vehicle, guys. It's not going to pull up, it is not going to lift. So make sure you get these crevices really clean, guys. This is going to be huge for keeping the for your install to be a success, because if there's dirt, there's grime, the vinyl will not stick and you're not going to be too happy. So you can pop the front door, be sure to get behind there on the back door as well. And once you have all of these nice and clean, we can start the next step, which is going to be the masking. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get off into step 2, which is going to be the masking. The masking really helps on the install because the vinyl does not like to stick very well to the vinyl, so it makes it real easy to lift and tuck on the edges, the corners. It just makes the install a lot more simple. So basically what I am doing here is laying the masking tape around the rubber gasket, so that way the vinyl can wrap and tuck real nice in that edge. And when you do the cut, you don't have to worry about, you know, the blade slipping, moving. It can follow that line straight down. And be sure you mask all four corners all the way around. You don't have to worry about the middle section because we're just going to cut that portion right down the middle. But be sure you mask the rubber gasket on the side and the top and bottom. That way when you do run your knife to cut the vinyl, you know exactly where it needs to be, and the vinyl can lay and tuck exactly where it needs to be, so you can get a nice clean cut on the vinyl, so your install looks 100% clean and legit, guys. So like I said, just complete the masking on the pillars, and then we can jump off into the next step, which is going to be laying the actual vinyl itself. Okay, now that we got the masking all the way around on the sides, we can now take the actual vinyl itself and begin the application. This is just the piece of vinyl that I had cut. I like to have way more than enough, a lot of extra on all four sides to carry over. Sometimes you don't want to have too short to where it's not going to fit in the corners. Now with this vinyl, being that it is have the lines, you are going to want to make sure you get it pretty much level top to bottom so that the lines aren't crooked of the metal, the brushed lines. So once you get the vinyl lined up exactly where you want it, it is a very simple install to lay flat. You lay it just as such, and if you have any wrinkles, any tension, you can just pull them out from the top to bottom, but it generally lays very smooth, just like you just saw. If there's any air bubbles or wrinkles in the flat part of the vinyl, you can just kind of push them out with your finger. Don't get intimidated. This vinyl has air release, so once you press on the bubbles and pockets, the air just disappears, guys. Beautiful stuff. So you want to work the vinyl in from the middle, get it flat, all the air bubbles out, all that fun stuff, so that way you have a nice flat clean surface base to work with. And from there you can just kind of lay the corners, get the corners tucked in depending where you're at. If you're in a hot environment, this is going to be very easy. If you're somewhere where it's kind of cold, you may need some heat for this to get the vinyl to lay exactly where you want it. Where I'm from, it was over 100 plus this evening, so as you can see, the vinyl is laying just the way it should, not having any issues whatsoever. So like I said, just keep working the vinyl in all four corners on the edges, get it to where you want it. A squeegee can help you. I like to use the tip of my fingernail a lot of times. I just feel I have more control of the vinyl and where I'm pushing it, but a squeegee works awesome too, guys. So once you have all of the vinyl laid flat where you want it to be, we are then going to seal the edges and lock it into place with the heat gun. Okay guys, now that we got the vinyl tucked around the edges, we can now take out our heat gun and begin sealing and locking that vinyl where we just sealed it. So again, the heat is a key. Anytime you're wrapping or doing anything with vinyl, it helps stretch and heat the vinyl. It helps seal and lock the edges like what we are doing here. So just take your heat gun and be liberal. Don't set the heat gun, leave it in one spot so it'll melt the vinyl. You just want to get the vinyl warm and seal the edges. As you can see, once the vinyl is warm, it is now pliable, so it can form around those edges for when we are about to tuck it after we do the cut. So once you are done with the heat gun, you can take your squeegee and again just replant it in those corners. Make sure it hasn't lifted and anything hasn't moved. And this is gonna be one of the final steps before we take out our wrap blade and cut the excess away, guys. So be sure you get the vinyl sealed, tucked exactly where you want it. Now before we go into the next step, let the vinyl cool for a few minutes. You don't want it to be red super hot when you are going to do the cut. So lay it, get it where you want it, let it cool, and then we're going to come back to the next step, which is going to be the cut. Alright guys, moving on, we're taking out our wrap knife. getting ready to cut off all the excess edges. It really helps if you have a designated wrap knife like I do here with a specialty blade. If you don't have one, you can get one from Harbor Freight, or Lux gives away knives when you order wrap kits. That works fine too, guys. So I like to start right in the middle of the two doors. I start from the top, make my cut down to the bottom. Don't rush it, guys. You don't have to. This isn't a race. Be sure you cut it right in the middle. That way you leave enough on both sides to tuck over the door. And you can then move on to the edges, top or bottom, it doesn't matter. I'm doing the top here, and this is basically a groove that was in the door right underneath the masking tape. You'll see it when you are masking or getting ready to do yours. Now, just doing the bottom, you don't have to be a ninja with a knife. This is super easy to do. Anybody can do this at home, and I mean, very simple. You don't need too much pressure. Just real light pressure is all that you need. Now for the sides, I like to define the line one last time before I cut. You can feel the knife kind of go in between the pillar and the plastic, and that way you know that, okay, you're not cutting the pillar and shorting yourself on the wrap, but you're also not cutting the rubber. So you can feel it when you're in there, and depending how tight the gasket is, I'm basically just pushing down on the rubber, giving me a little bit more room for the knife to flow. But it's very simple, guys. Don't be afraid. I know some people are like, oh no, I'm gonna knife my car. You got this. So in the bottom, it is gonna get a little tight. You can extend the blade a little bit. That will help you get the angle to go all the way down to the bottom, guys. But just take your time and be very careful, and you will get this. So be sure to do this. Obviously for the back door, the same thing that we did to the front, and you guys will be good to go and have your door pillars pretty much wrapped, guys. Now, once you have all of the excess vinyl cut and pulled away, you can then start to tuck the vinyl around the edges on the left and right sides. The top and bottom are pretty much good to go. Just lay those down with the squeegee, and the left and right sides will tuck. Just wrap it around with your fold it over with your finger, and it wraps all the way around, guys, in that center section. Now for the right side, you are going to want to take your squeegee and just kind of pin it to the edge and wrap it around that bulge and tuck it in between that rubber gasket, just like I'm doing here. So that way the vinyl rolls around the pillar, tucks into that rubber gasket, and the pillar is a full 360-degree wrap. So it's not like you just put a sticker on the front of it. The whole pillar is wrapped and good to go, guys. Now, one of the last things to do once you have the vinyl cut, fold it over, all the excess pulled away, bring the heat gun back out and just run it over the edges, the center of it. Make sure there's no air bubbles in the flat part. On the edges, make sure you heat them up really well. the vinyl gets sealed and tucked in the corners, the edges, everywhere it needs to be. And that's pretty much it, guys. That is how you wrap the pillars on your car. Follow these exact same steps for the back door pillar, the pillars on the passenger side, and your door pillars will be 100% wrapped, good to go, guys. Looking 100% awesome. There's multiple different shades and vinyls that you can choose from. This is the brushed metal. If you've seen my charger, I have the 3M Shadow Black on my pillars and door handles. So lots of different vinyls and products to choose from for color, the theme of your build, patterns, you name it, guys. Awesome stuff here. Alright guys, looks pretty good, right? But we aren't done yet. We've got one more door to do. So let's go ahead and get started with the back door. On the back door here, all it is just one little thin strip. Now you can run the masking tape on there if you want it. For this back section, it may be a little overkill, being that it is just a simple rectangle, and the knife points, I mean, they're pretty wide to get the knife in there. But for the video's sake and purposes, we are just going to run it anyway. There's a spot in the top and the bottom. It is not really a cutout, it is just where the rubber ends. So I like to put a piece of tape on there, and that way I know where the vinyl stops and I can run my knife blade accordingly. If you are going to be using masking tape, be sure you have enough, because I just ran out, as you can see here. But that's okay, we're going to send it anyway. So like I said, just a small rectangle, very, very easy. And we're just gonna do pretty much the same steps that we did in the front doors. Peel it off its backing paper, slap it on there, define the lines where the knife needs to be cut out, hit it with some heat, and once we have the vinyl laid, sealed with the heat, we're just then going to cut it with our wrap blade, peel off the excess, and it is going to be ready to go, guys. You then have your Dodge Chargers door pillars all wrapped up in whatever color you choose, looking really, really good, guys. It really makes a huge difference over just the boring black pillars. You can add some color to your car, the theme to your build. Lots and lots of awesome stuff here, guys. Alright family, this is how to wrap your 2011 plus Dodge Charger door pillars with vinyl. If you want to get the pre-cut kit from Lux Auto Concepts, I will put that in the video description, so be sure you check that before you go. A huge shout out to my buddy Alexis, the owner of this beautiful white Scat Pack, for coming in today and allowing us to shoot a video on his car and the product of how to wrap the pillars. He is a really, really good friend of mine. He has a lot of Lux products on his car already. And a huge shout out to him. I will put his information in the video description if you want to check him out and follow him on Instagram. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, like it, give it a huge thumbs up. Be sure you subscribe to our channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. That way you don't miss all the awesome videos that we have for you and the content that we post on a daily basis. And with that, guys, I really appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.